Let me share with you my experience last night at the Pierre rally. In the spirit of democracy, I decided that I wanted to go and protest. There are numerous reasons why I will not vote Conservative this year, but if you want to find those, you can go to my page and look those up. I want to speak about the hate that's going on in Canada right now. So I'll show you the sign that I had. So this sign just had some basic information about Pierre's voting history. So my goal was not to be confrontational. It was not to be rude. It was just simply to bring my information and allow people to see it. I had a couple other signs, one that said that John A. Macdonald started residential schools, one that said Pierre supports privatizing healthcare, which it's in the Conservative policy that they support, half privatizing, half full. We all know Doug Ford has gone for full privatization and is trying to. So the trend of the Conservative Party is that they want to privatize healthcare, but I put that he supports privatizing healthcare. I was met with more hate than I have ever seen in my entire life. I stood for an hour and a half in the freezing cold for a short while with a friend. Just the two of us. It's all that was there. I stood and I held my signs. When someone came down the sidewalk, I stepped out of the way to allow them to pass, and then I stepped back into the sidewalk to hold up my signs. I had numerous slurs hurled at me, the F word many times. Loser, go home loser, bet you feel like a Nazi now, don't you? You're a Nazi supporter. Residential schools were created to educate the Indigenous people. Unfortunately, my friend had to leave. She was ill. I totally get it. It was freezing cold. So after everyone was inside, I went back to my car to warm up for a few minutes, and I do have videos posted if you want to go look those up. So I sat and warmed up for a bit, and then when the rally was about to end, I went and stood across the way from where the exit is from the building. And I just simply stood there. I just stood there with my sign. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't say anything. Nothing. You can hear on my other videos the hate that I endured. Just ignorant people. I had two people come up to me with their Canada First flags and say, "Can we stand and protest with you?" And I said, "Of course, you can stand here all you like." And so they proceeded to dance around my head with their flags, waving them in my faces, making a spectacle out of themselves. And I just let them do it. I just stood there, let them do it. Then I had a man come up to me and try to mansplain economics to me for about 10 minutes. Spoiler alert, he had no idea what he was talking about. I had people tell me that God will look out for my soul. And then closer to the end of the rally, I held up my sign so that Pierre Poilievre's bus could see it. And a man decided to stand directly in front of me. And when I took 2 steps to the side, he proceeded to step again in front of me. And he did this a few times. So I had to hold my sign above my head. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who you vote for. But this kind of hate is not Canadian. This is not who Canadians are. Unfortunately, in my riding, it's the retired police chief who is running for the Conservative Party. This police chief goes door to door to discuss the PC party wearing his police jacket. So I'm not quite sure if that's a form of intimidation or not. You tell me. So I stood there for an hour and let people berate me and talk bad to me and tell me that I needed to find Jesus. I needed to stop for a minute and check my privilege. I see the hate that was slung at me. I see that Indigenous people and Black Lives Matter protesters, these people have been fighting their entire lives just to be seen, just to be treated like a human being, and they've fought their entire lives. I stood out in the cold for a couple hours. It's not a big deal. But people ask me why. Why did you bother? Because you know what? If I can convince one person to do some reading, or one person to do some research on the truth, or one person to truly understand what they're voting for, then I've done my job. If I can convince one person to change their mind, or maybe think a little, or maybe let other people know that they saw me at this rally protesting, or maybe I can inspire one person, just one person, to stand up to this kind of hate in our country. That's all I wanted to do. I will always stand up for what's right. I will always stand for the people who have less than we do. I want to build a country where my nieces and nephews can live and thrive, knowing that their rights and freedoms will be protected in the future. And I will fight for those that have less than we do. If I got to pay a few more taxes for someone who is disabled, for someone who is senior, for someone who needs child daycare, So be it. Take my taxes. It's the same as donating to a charity. Take my taxes. Take care of Canada's people. And when you start to think of others instead of thinking about yourself, that's what it means to be a Canadian. So then I woke up this morning to an article in our local newspaper talking about the size of the rally last night, which was, by the way, less than 1,000 people. And they said how numerous protesters were at the gate, even though there was one, me. So when I tried to, submit a comment to that article, telling them, that's fake news, there wasn't numerous protesters, they deleted the comment. They wouldn't post it. So I wrote a letter to the editor, basically giving them this same sentiment that we need to do better. We need to be kinder to each other. They didn't post it. They won't post it because they believe in the former police chief being the Conservative candidate in this city. I'm tired and I feel defeated right now. At least I did until I woke up this morning to a bunch of people posting in a social group at how proud they were of me for standing up for what I believed in. Now, I don't want to be a martyr and I don't want to be called a hero because that's not what this is about. This is about teaching our children and the people ahead of us that hate is not acceptable in this country. We need to stand together side by side, whether you're Indigenous, whether you're white, whether you're African American, whether you're disabled, whether you're a senior, we all need to stand together side by side, hand in hand, and spread your light. Because we need to show that Canada's light is much brighter than its dark. If you want to verify some of it, I have videos, posted on my timeline. You can go and take a look at some of the videos. I didn't get everything on video, but I did get some of it. I just think we need to do better. Do better, Canada. Do better by your neighbor. Do better by your friends. Do better by the people who have less than we do. That's what we need right now, not hate and division. Elbows up, Canada.